Everyone, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I hope that you guys have been enjoying this series. I know us Jules have enjoyed hearing from each other, hearing the feedback from you guys. It's been a great month. You guys killed it this month. Hopefully you've been motivated each Sunday night hearing our calls. And I'm so excited to have us all on the call tonight live, where we can speak to you and share with you guys. We're not going to share with you our testimonies because a lot of you have heard our stories and everything. We're actually going to share individual stories from our journey of what made us fall in love with Plexus. So I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Jamie Mays. I'm a Diamond Ambassador. I've been with Plexus for a little over 3.5 years. Before Plexus, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I've just stay-at-home mom for 9 years since I was pregnant with my first son. I do not have a college degree. I've never had a ribbon, waiting tables in college and like working at daycares. So I've never worked in corporate America or anything like that. And I joined Plexus solely for the business opportunity. I was actually pregnant when I joined. I'd never taken the products or anything like that. Actually didn't take the products until I was had my son. I didn't realize I could take Plexus. I just thought it was a weight loss company when I first started. So it just goes to show you that no matter where you are in life, you can do this business. And I love that about Plexus. I want to start off by sharing with you one of my favorite memories. Was the very first leaders retreat that I went to in Orlando, Florida. There was 4 of us from the dream team there. It was me and Sarah, JJ Tettleton, and Amber Stevens. I think and I think we had like the best time on that trip. First taste of what being a leader in this company was going to be like. I'd been to the first convention, which was amazing, but it was something about, first of all, earning that trip was a huge deal. Because when I first started Plexus, it took me 6 months to get to silver. And I really struggled with belief in myself. And I feel like when I was there in Orlando, I realized what I was capable of when I did believe in myself. So that was huge for me. It was also my very first time on stage. I earned the check that year, the big, I think it was like a $3,000 check or something, which was huge. Again, coming from someone who didn't believe in herself and just seeing how far I was able to come in a short amount of time, really, because after I hit silver, it went really quickly to, I think I was senior Ruby in Orlando. And just getting to like rub elbows with the other leaders in the company, getting to meet these jewels that I had looked up to, that I'd watched their YouTube videos, learned everything from these people. I actually, like, Sarah knows that with Sarah Marble, I was like, I don't know, like shocked every time I was around her. She was like my Plexebrity, and just realizing that she was a real person. And I think that was something, it's hard to relate to when you're new in this business and you see these people at the top, and you're not sure, if you can do that, or, well, they must have network marketing experience or whatever. But at that trip, I was able to other jewels and realize that they are just real people. They're not celebrities. They're just like you and me. And that really kind of sold it for me, that they're just normal everyday people, and that if they can do this and make it to jewel status, that I could do it too. So it was just kind of that little push that I needed to get to the next level in my business. Then the next little story I want to tell you guys is actually the biggest turning point in my business, I feel like, was when I started to finally get to see what financial freedom meant, and what that looks like. Because when we started, we didn't even to pay our bills every single month. And, the Christmas before I started Plexus, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to afford Christmas for our son. So we've come a really long way. And I had this calling on my heart to open an orphanage in India through Angel House Ministries, and to be able to write a check solely from my Plexus bank account, from money that I had worked so hard to earn, meant the entire world to me. I realized in that moment that I was more than just a mom. And I was more than just a wife, because I feel like I had lost myself. And I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that. Just being a mom, and sometimes you're like, what is my purpose? Like, what, you go through the motions every single day. And that's kind of how I was. I didn't contribute financially. I knew I was struggling. And just in that moment, I felt relief. I felt thankful and grateful and blessed to be, in this company and to have this opportunity, and to be able to not only help my family financially, but to be able to make a difference in others' lives as well. And I mean, that if that doesn't make you fall in love with Plexus, I don't know what does. Like, that was legit, like, the turning point for me. That I was all in, like, just seeing what I'm able to do because of the financial freedom that Plexus has given us, which was the whole reason that I joined Plexus in the first place. And then the last little story I want to tell you guys, which I just love this. Last year in Hawaii, we went to Kona. And so not only did I earn the trip, but my husband earned the trip as well. And we were able to bring my mom and her fiance and my sister and my brother-in-law to Hawaii with us. And I think I think I was just speechless. I didn't even know what to say, because like, who would have thought in a million years that my husband and I, who struggled for years, were in debt up to our eyeballs, were able to take my family on this luxury vacation to Hawaii, of all places, courtesy of this company that I work for. Like, it was just insane to me. My mom hadn't been to Hawaii since, I think we went when I was 8. And her fiance had never been on a vacation in his life. Like, he's never been on a vacation. And Hawaii was his first vacation. Thank you, Plexus. And getting to, and my sister, she's a silver ambassador with Plexus, and getting to show her what this company, when you go to Hawaii, like, that's like, the trip of all trips. Like, it's just amazing. And she got to get that taste of what's to come in her future, and, motivate her to get to this point too. And I love that. I love that we're able to share this with our families, and bring people and bless other people through this. It's not just about, the fun trips we get to do, but bringing others with us as well. And this year we get to bring my in-laws who haven't been, so it's really cool. I just feel so lucky, so blessed to be, I hope you guys can hear me. It's telling me my internet connection is unstable. Just so blessed to be a part of this incredible company. And I have a million other stories I could tell you, but for time's sake, we're just going to keep it to those 3. And I am going to let Amanda jump on and share with her why she loves Plexus so much.
Hi guys, Amanda Grubbs, Sapphire Ambassador. I am outside. We just moved, and I'm borrowing my neighbor's internet. So sorry that's really dark and you can't really see my face. But we'll have internet tomorrow, and then you'll see my face like a real person. But like I said, Sapphire Ambassador, I've been working the business about 2 years, been taking the products 2.5 years. So super, super stubborn. Would not work this business, would not talk about Plexus, even though Sarah was like, I remember even calling Sarah and saying, hey, a girl at my work wants to try Plexus. I'm going to send you her information. And she was like, I'm not taking it. You're signing up. You're going to do this. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. So still stubborn for 6 months. I had a really good job. It's at Apple. I'm an account executive at Apple, which is like a really sought after job. And we were doing okay. Like we weren't, hurting for money, but we had some stuff going on. Well, then the reason I started Plexus was my daughter was born, and it was like I got slapped in the face. Like, I did not know how everybody else was making this look so easy, because it was not easy. I was exhausted. When I went back to work, my head was falling asleep on the keyboard. I remember I would wake up literally when my head hit the computer screen, because I just went like that every single morning. And I would have like 3 regular sodas just to try and stay awake. And so I fell in love with Plexus products the second I took them, because I was awake. I was like, thank you, Jesus. This was all I needed. But falling in love with Plexus as a company is a different story for me. Because like I said, I didn't want to do network marketing. This wasn't what I thought my calling was, and it's not what I thought I wanted to do. And I remember Sarah telling me when we looked at our goals, if you know what I want to do, she said, dream big. It would be so big. And I was trying to think like, okay, what kind of sucks right now? And we were very blessed to have a nanny for my daughter. And I remember, I don't know why it didn't occur to my husband and I that paying for someone else's entire income would be hard on our finances, but it was shocking that we were like, oh my gosh, this is so much money, but it's our kid. We've got to take care of our kid. And so I remember thinking, if I could cover the nanny, it would be life-changing. It would put Chris and I back to just Chris and I. We could do whatever we wanted. That'd be amazing. And sure enough, it took about 6 or 7 months. And I remember like looking every time, is it close? Is it close? Is it close? And about 6 or 7 months, we got the nanny covered. And that was when I realized the potential of having to, because our lives seemed so good and kind of basic. We just had basic lives. We both had jobs. We had a little baby and we lived in a house and we had a dog and everything was pretty simple. But I only had one thing that was a hardship for us, and it was the nanny, because trying to cover those finances. And sure enough, I already did that. So what's next? What is next? What's my next goal? And I realized that this company, the compensation plan is so phenomenal that it forces you to dream bigger. You have to dream bigger than your initial thought. My initial thought for Plexus was to get my hair done. A lot of you know that.
There you go again.
About how expensive it is to get my hair done. But I mean, now my thought went to a house for my parents so that they could come stay with us and be comfortable. My mom's disabled. I was like, God, that would be amazing. We're in the process of that. However, in that process, that house isn't getting done because we got caught in permits. And it was really sad that I thought we don't have a place to live. And I was pregnant with Roger, my son. I was like, we have nothing to do. I have no place to bring this baby home to. We're bringing this baby home to a hotel. What am I supposed to do? And so because of Plexus and because we saved our Plexus money, we bought another house, which was this one behind me. So we just moved into this one, which is actually across the street from the other one. So it's all nice and close. But that's the possibility. We weren't forced to, if we just had our Apple jobs like before, no way. We would have had to probably move in with his mom or move in with some family until the house was done. And the house isn't still being done until June or July. And so it'll be a year and a half that we would have had to live with family. And instead, thanks to Plexus, we just bought another house and you move on. And it's great. Granted, now you don't have internet and I look completely dark right now. So I am going to pass it back to Jamie because I feel like y'all can't even see me at all anymore, but the internet connection is so much better out here. But yeah, that's my story. And that's why I love Plexus.
Thank you, girl. Yeah, it is getting dark over there. I think Sarah is going to jump on and share her story now.
Yes. Okay. Thank you guys so much. And I love Amanda's story. She's one of my good friends from college. And that's one of the things I love the most about this is how many friends that you can end up impacting and that ripple effect that comes from the life changes that you end up causing. And that's a big part of my story and part of why I fell in love with Plexus. But I'll start by saying that when I started Plexus, I was a stay-at-home mom, but I had just become a stay-at-home mom. And it wasn't by choice. I had a rough pregnancy and we ended up having to quit my job and unexpectedly stay home with my daughter and my son as well. So I was a stay-at-home mom that had just left the corporate world. And I come from a college educated background, Baylor. I was super skeptical of network marketing, not open to it at all. My mom comes from a nutrition background too. So I was doubly skeptical about this particular network marketing company because it had to do with health and wellness and supplements. But obviously, I'm so glad that I put my pride aside and decided to jump in with it. One of the biggest reasons that I initially fell in love with Plexus, I started as a customer and I started to lose some baby weight. And at that point in time, I was going through some really big mental issues after the birth of my kids. I felt overwhelmed daily. I'm sure that many of you moms can understand that. And especially when you're a stay-at-home mom, you feel like the walls are closing in on you, or I did. I felt like the walls were closing in on me. I felt like I was drowning. I felt like I had nobody else to talk to. I had no other connections. I felt trapped is the best way that I could feel it. And it started to have these major
I don't understand it.
feelings of just, I felt horrible all the time and so overwhelmed. Definitely felt like I was drowning in my role as a mom, and I had completely lost my identity as well in that whole transition to being a stay-at-home mom from a career-oriented person. And so when I first started taking the Plexus products, it was about 2 weeks in, and suddenly I felt more present with the kids. I had more energy, and I was running around with them and doing things with them again. And I distinctly remember the minute, like absolute minute, I knew I was going to be with Plexus the rest of my life, and I was going to sign up and everything. I was going to be taking these products forever. My daughter Emma came over to me and she's like, "Mommy, you're so fun now." And it was the fact that she said "now" at the end of that sentence that I knew that my little 3-year-old girl she had picked up on this, and she knew, and she had seen a change in me so quickly. And my kids will always be at the center of my universe. I'm sure you guys understand that, but at the same time, like, I feel like you're constantly striving to be a better parent, and this plays into that for me big time. I really owe these products so much just from that standpoint, from turning my life around at that point and allowing me to be a better mom. I owe them big time. And so that for me was the foundation of my business and the foundation of my love for this company and what it stands for and what it can do and what it represents to my friends, because my friends are all in the same age group, same level in their life. And if I can impact them and their family dynamic, that's huge. So the second point where, there's 3 huge key factors in me just adoring Plexus. And the next one happened to come 3 weeks later. After I had signed up, that first week that I signed up, I decided that I didn't know a whole lot about Plexus. I knew it was for weight loss. That was about the extent of my knowledge at that point. And I knew what it had done for me. And I thought it was just an energy thing at that point. I didn't get the depth of why I was feeling better. And so I went to the Opportunity of a Lifetime meeting that week, and Alec Clark was there, and it was in Houston. And I listened to testimony after testimony after testimony. I got to shake Alec's hand and meet him for the first time and see what the heart and soul of this company are all about, and see the level of servant leadership that is at our C-level, and to see that the guy leading our company has very strong religious grounding. So for me, all of those things put together, I left that event that night with chills. I called my mom and talked to my mom for about an hour on the drive home. It was about an hour away, and just she couldn't get a word in. I was so excited and so fired up and just so convicted that I finally was starting to get what was happening to me and why Plexus was so exciting for everybody else. All of those testimonies I heard were starting to put these little puzzle pieces together for me. And that was a huge turning point for me, because I went home and researched the products and got a much broader view of what they did and why they did what they did. So for me, that was huge. And the third part of my story, where everything just, you cannot shake my belief in this company. Like, you could tell me anything and I would never stop representing this company. The third one was about 2 months into my journey with Plexus. I had a level 1, and she called me crying. Before she started taking the product, she called me crying, explaining all of her health issues, explaining everything that was going on to her. And I told her exactly what I thought she should take and gave her the products and that kind of thing. Well, you guys, the products so profoundly impacted her quality of life, her health reports, everything that she was going into the doctor. I would tell you the whole story, but I can't because of compliance. But it so profoundly changed her, and so profoundly changed the quality of life, that she was able to get out of bed again, you guys, from not being able to. And so this was somebody that was close to me in my life, somebody that meant something to me. And that was the point in time where I said, you know, this isn't about selling health products. This is so much more than that. And so for me, that part, and the fact that I suddenly found purpose outside of being a stay-at-home mom. I love my kids to death, and being a mom is a huge part for me, but I found purpose in this business. I found something so much more than a paycheck coming in. I had worked for corporate. This fulfilled me in a way that I had never even knew could be possible with a job. And so for me, those are the reasons that I shared back then, and I still continue to share today, because since her testimony came in and she called me crying, telling me how much better she felt, I've had hundreds more of those from my team and from me sharing with other people. So that's why I fell in love with Plexus. I'm going to kick it over to my neighbor and one of my best friends, Amy, and she's going to tell you guys why she fell in love with Plexus.
Thank you, Sarah. It's so funny to me when you know, we're really close now, and most of you guys don't know my story, so I'm going to go over it really briefly. And if you guys can just make sure you're muted. I've been trying to mute everyone, but I don't want to keep looking as I'm talking. So, you know, for those of you who don't know, I've been with Plexus now for 2 years. My 2-year was at the end of February. And when I first found Plexus, I was a corporate career woman. I was not looking for a network marketing job. I was not looking for supplements. I was looking for an executive level position that was closer to my neighborhood. So because the commute at the time was killing me, we would put Adelaide in the car at 6:30. We'd put her in the car asleep, still in her PJs. I'd drive to my office. I'd actually get her dressed at daycare, and then I'd go to work. We did that every day, and it was killing us. So when I posted on this Facebook page for our neighborhood, this stranger named Sarah Taylor, who I'd never met before, commented Plexus. And I'm pretty sure the eyes rolled so far back in my head that she probably sensed that on the other end. Guys, I was a huge network marketing snob. I'm embarrassed to say it now, but I thought it was for people who couldn't get a real job. I just was one of those skeptics that you guys encounter, right? That was me. So long story short, though, Sarah was bold enough to reach out to me, and she would not send me her website. She would only get me on the phone. And even after I ignored her phone calls for a while, I gave her my number, but then I ignored her calls. She finally started talking to me about what the products were, because I'd never even heard of Plexus. At the time, you know, I had issues with unexplained weight gain. I was exhausted all the time, zero energy, no focus. And so I really was kind of struggling, thinking this cannot be what my life's going to be like as a new mom. And Steve and I just felt like zombies through the week. And then we'd spend our weekends catching up or taking naps, right? Because the week was just a whirlwind. So she tells me about these products. I come home, I tell Steve, well, and I signed up as an ambassador right then because I'm cheap and I wanted the cheapest price. And I came home and told Steve, I said, hey, we signed up for this pink drink, but don't tell anyone we're going to do it because I don't think it's going to work. Well, so the first thing for me with these products was within the first week, 2 weeks, I was one of those people that right away on the pink drink, I didn't need my caffeine, that I was just living on caffeine. Sarah Taylor even, I remember, she asked me on the phone in that initial conversation if I drank a lot of caffeine, and I told her no. I was drinking 2 pots of coffee a day, but I didn't think it was a big deal because I would drink it black or my tea would be unsweet. So anyway, I didn't need that. I literally would make the pot of coffee and it sat there. I didn't drink it. So that was life-changing for me at that moment. And I didn't need those naps. I mean, it was nothing for me to come home from work and nap on the couch in the evenings. Didn't need it. So that was kind of my first aha Plexus moment. So definitely, you know, I hate it when people say they want to get results before they start sharing, because guys, not needing a nap changed my life. So if somebody else had posted about that, I probably would have been all over it. And then, Sarah Taylor knew, though, that originally I had reached out on that board because I was looking to get rid of my commute. So she showed me her paycheck. And at the time, she was making great money, but I think you were Ruby. I think you were Ruby, close to senior Ruby. And I was like, whoa. I was an executive making really good money. But when I saw that check, I thought, well, you know what? If she can do this, I can do it. And I say that because we weren't friends, but I thought, wow, okay. And I decided to try it, but I still wasn't all in. My big aha moment to it, similar to Sarah's, when I fell in love with the company, was going to the corporate opportunity meeting. And guys, she had to drag me to it. She had to drag me to it. I gave her every excuse in the book why I couldn't go. And keep in mind, I'm working the business, okay? My parents were in town. She literally, and we'd known each other maybe now for 2 weeks, just on Facebook. She showed up at my house at the end of the driveway, and she drove me to that opportunity meeting. That is the night that I heard Alec Clark speak. I heard all of these testimonies, these life-changing testimonies. I saw all of the people in the room that come from all different types of people that were having success in this business. But hearing from Alec and the executive, like hearing from him and hearing their vision, I drew my line in the sand that night, and I came home and I told Steve, I'm doing this. I said, I know it's crazy. I know I've never done anything like it, but give me 1 year and I'm going to work it like a business every single day. And so that was a big one for me. So I love to tell people that, because even if you have people that are working the business, you may still have to drag them to that opportunity meeting. Get them there. It is that important. And why I love Plexus so much is because for me, being a career woman, because Steve and I were married for 11 years before having babies. So that was my identity. My identity was my job. Once I had that baby, though, boy, did I want to be home with her. But I was terrified of not having that sense of something that was just mine, something that gave me purpose. And Plexus has given me that purpose. I get to stay home with Adelaide, work my own schedule, but I still have something that's mine and that gives me purpose. And then the other thing that makes me know that I will never, ever leave this company ever is the sense of community, with the relationships and the friendships that I've had that are new, renewed friendships with people that maybe I used to know, but we've grown a lot closer. And, when I was at convention last year, this is the last thing I'll share, I had people coming up to me that I'd never even met that were in tears because they'd heard my story through somebody and it changed their life. And to be able to have that impact on people is just unbelievable. So that's my story. I hope it was helpful. And I believe I get to turn it over to Taryn so you get to hear her story.
Amy, I love it. I always love hearing your story. I'm Taryn Mulcahy, Emerald Ambassador, and I've been with Plexus for the same as Amy, 2 years at the end of February. So, of course, I fell in love with these products. I was struggling as a mom, like Sarah mentions, and it was an aha moment of feeling like I was back, like I was the fun Taryn, the fun mom, the fun wife again. I wasn't irritable and just drowning every day and just snapping at people and wanting to fall asleep. I wasn't feeling like I wanted to be there with my kids, but just wish they were sleeping all day long. Like I was actually present and enjoying my family again. These products are phenomenal. And they helped my father with his health issues and his weight and his blood sugars, and my mother-in-law with her blood sugars. And those two were huge skeptics. But I fell in love with this company multiple times, but I think it kind of leads up to one of the first things I will never forget was when I was pretty new. And since I had joined at the end of February, it was the very first convention, and they had come out with Mega X. And there was an ingredient in there, and it was all the uproar. Y'all, they had released a brand new product to us. They gave them out at convention. I wasn't able to attend, but I remember watching this play out on Facebook and listening as a part of the chats and thinking, what are they going to do? People are really upset about this. Like, that's crazy. But I mean, they spent so much money on product development and launching this product and getting this on the shelves ready for everyone to buy it, and nobody wants to buy it. And to literally see them pull it from the shelves and reformulate it, I was like, whoa, I cannot believe that they just listened to their ambassadors and took action, like, because of that. And I thought, maybe I'm a part of something bigger here. Like, maybe this is going to be pretty cool, because I've worked in corporate America. I worked in a lot of jobs, and I've never really thought that my voice was heard. And this was a moment when I was like, we are heard. We are not just ambassadors for this company. Like, we have a voice. This is our business. These are our products, and we are heard. That is insane. And then that kind of leads into, excuse me, I want to preface this, that there were many times I fell in love with it before I was a jewel. But one of my favorite moments was at convention last year when I had just hit Emerald, and I got to go to the breakout session for the jewels. And our dear President Alec Clark spoke to us in the breakout session, and he was raw and vulnerable. I had never seen a side of executive team that I had ever been a part of a company like that. He told this story about him and a very big failure in his career, a time when he was ashamed of himself, and he teared up in front of us. And he told us about how, sorry, it's a lot. His boss gave him a second chance and was like, everyone deserves a second chance. And he just cried in front of us. And he was like, I believe that. I believe everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone is important and valued. And I was like, oh my gosh, this company, the way they love us, their values, and what we stand for, this is not anywhere else. Like, we are something different, and we are loved, and we are appreciated. And it was so impactful just to see the person who leads us tear up in front of you and talk about a huge moment that he didn't have to do that for us. He was not required to cry in front of us and tell us how he had failed miserably in life. And so that was enormous. And then my final one is, I will never forget, two different times of phone calls that I have gotten or messages that I have received when it's definitely more than once, but two big ones. When someone who is in my downline, not my direct level one or anything, but someone who is in my downline and reached out to me and was like, you don't even understand. That paycheck that I got just paid for something that we have been struggling with. And they just cry their eyes out. And I realize, gosh, because I stepped out of my comfort zone and realized this is not about me. This is not about my fears. This is not about how uncomfortable I am talking to people, or this is not about my insecurities. If I just say something, that would be a ripple effect, like Sarah said, to someone else in the world who needs this so bad that it will change their life and bring them to their knees in tears. And that for me is why I'm like, this is phenomenal. I've never, ever been in a job or position or something where I felt so much love and appreciation and a sense of belonging and a sense of something bigger than us. So that's where I fell in love with Plexus. And apparently that got me really emotional. So I'm sorry, but thank y'all. But I am going to turn it over to Lauren.
Hey guys, that was awesome, Taryn. I absolutely am so happy that you brought up that moment, because it was an absolute phenomenal moment to be in that room and to witness the person who's leading us to be so vulnerable with us. And that was, I'm so glad you shared that tonight. Everything everyone has shared tonight has been absolutely eye-opening and so real. Like, guys, you have jewels on this call tonight that are opening up to you, being raw, being vulnerable, and just letting you guys know that, we all started out at the same place as either, in the busy moms, stay-at-home moms, corporate America, whatever it is we were doing, we all started somewhere. And I myself was a teacher, and I taught for 8 years, and I loved it. And I loved being a teacher. I loved my kids. I loved my parents. I was actually treated like gold where I was, and I really had no reason to leave. I pretty much, like, Amanda was saying, like, bills are being paid, money was coming in, things were fine, wasn't really looking for anything else. But inside of me, there was something missing. Like, there was a part of my flame inside of myself that was not completely lit. And I tried to fill it with other voids, you know, doing like a hobby or, you know, shopping too much or something like that. And nothing filled that void of that passion that was missing inside of me. And so, and I'm talking about that missing piece was for several years. Before I had my daughter, after I had my daughter, and part of it was my health. My health was taking over. I'm someone who has struggled with stomach issues for a very long time. And basically, when Plexus came into my life, I was desperate. I was on multiple medications, had been to see multiple doctors. I had absolutely no energy. I mean, very much like everyone on here has already described, you know, you just wake up physically, mentally exhausted. I felt like I had ran a marathon in my sleep every night. I woke up, I would look at my husband and just sob. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I just don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to get through my day. And it wasn't that I was a lazy person or not a motivated person, because I've worked since I was 15. But it was just this lack of energy. And if you know anything of what I'm talking about, then you can understand what I'm saying. And I had tried everything. And what's sad is right before Plexus came into my life, a couple months before that, my doctor had ran a ton of tests on me, and he's like, I can't find anything wrong with you. And he was basically alluding to the fact that I was making it up. And my husband knew I was not, because he saw me day in and day out. He saw what I was going through. And my doctor actually put me on some medication that they give to shift workers to give them the ability to stay awake. So I was on medication that was keeping me awake. It was lowering my appetite to where I had basically no appetite. I was almost under 100 pounds. And that to me is not healthy. Like, here I am seeing a doctor who is just writing me a script to make me stay awake and not eat. Like, I was at the ultimate low, y'all, right before Plexus. So Plexus came into my life. I started the products as a wholesale ambassador because I needed the cheapest rate, but I wanted nothing to do with the business, like absolutely nothing. It hadn't even crossed my mind, y'all. And after 4 weeks of being consistent on the triplex combo, I threw my medications away. And I remember it was on a Saturday, and I said, okay, I have these horrible stomach issues. It's a Saturday. I'm at home. I'm, you know, near the bathroom if I need it. And so I'm just going to stop taking my medicine. So I did. And I didn't take it on Sunday, and I didn't take it the next day. And, you know, that for me was eye-opening in itself with the products. And I tell everybody all the time, I'm like, this company would not be what it is without these amazing products. These products sell themselves. These products are what people need. These are consumable products that people need every single month. And we have what they need. We have that miracle thing that somebody is praying for and looking for. And so I really challenge you guys not to be afraid to share, because what you have is very valuable. So when that fire started to burn inside of me, and I started to get giddy and excited, and like I just had this newfound excitement and passion about something more. I didn't know what I had in my hands. I didn't know anything about the comp plan. All I knew is that I had passion for these products, and I wanted to help and change anybody's life that would be willing to give it a try. And so that's what, you know, pushed me. That's what drove me. That's what, you know, would keep me up, even working full time and being a mom. Like, it's hard, y'all. It's not easy. But if you have the passion and you have the willingness to overcome fears slowly, you know, slowly but surely overcome those fears. You can't do everything in the beginning. You can't listen to a call and say, okay, I need to do this, and this to be successful. No, you need to do it a little bit at a time so that you are able to actually overcome and achieve those goals. And so the first thing for me was when my products obviously changed my life. The second thing was when I realized that how little I needed to actually get started. You know, I'm not diminishing the fact that we need a large amount of passion, sacrifice, dedication, self-growth, self-belief, positive self-talk, all of that. You need a lot of that, but you need very little to get started. You know, $34.95 for the business and Wi-Fi and a cell phone and nooks and crannies of your day. We all have downtime throughout our day. We all have things that we can sacrifice. I'm not saying sacrifice time with your kids, time with your husband, if that's not what you're willing to do. But we can sacrifice the things that we do, sacrificing things that we know that we spend time on. So sacrificing your own time. And that's when it was a real aha moment for me, was when I realized what little things I actually needed to get started. And so if you just have your own passion, your own dedication, and your willingness, because you can't rely on anybody else. Everybody can give you all the tips and tricks, but you have to do the work. So constant daily activity, chipping away at this business and following up. And then my third aha moment, in addition to everything everybody else has already said tonight, was about a year ago. And I think I was an Emerald Ambassador. And my husband and I, we love to travel to Cabo. We go to Cabo San Lucas 1 to 2 times a year. And that's something we've done since we've been together, even before Plexus. And we absolutely love going there and offshore fishing. Well, long story short, we met this fishing guide there 2 years ago. And a year and a half ago, Cabo had a huge hurricane, and it wiped out the entire place. Like the airport, everything was down. No one could go in. And basically during the exact time of this fishing guide's main season to make money. And they already make no money down there. And so anyway, long story short, we had developed this relationship with this guy and his family there. And actually his son has type 2 diabetes. And so Daniel and I, my husband and I, were able to send them, money without even thinking about it. Like him and I talked with one another, and we sat down and we said, look, we can do this. And we decided on an amount, and we were able to do it without even thinking. And to come from a teacher's salary, like that is just, it just gives me like chills and makes me get so emotional, because I've never ever been in a situation to be able to give someone a large amount of money without even thinking about it. And to me, that was an aha moment, that this is even bigger than anything I ever imagined, and I can't even imagine what the future holds. So that is my story, and I'm excited to turn it over to Jill Renfro so that she can wrap it up for us.
Hey guys, okay. Unlike Lauren at her school, where she was treated like gold, I was treated like doggy do. Basically, I was a teacher, and I taught 3rd grade reading and writing. And for me, it wasn't this yippee skippy Disney World of an elementary school. I taught the rough of the rough. Like, I've taught babies with ankle bracelets, children who've had emotional disturbance to throw chairs. I have taught the children where 2 moms have gotten to knock down, drag out fights in the front office because they were both sleeping with the same man and found out on Facebook. That is where I taught, okay? So, not everything was all the rainbows and gummy bears. It was a hard job. But if you don't know, I'm a Sapphire Ambassador. I didn't even tell you what I'm doing or what's up. But I've been on Plexus about 2.5 years. But I was a teacher, and I was really tired. And I loved the kids. I would rather teach. So nobody email me after this or send me a message and say, Jill's got issues here. No, I would rather teach a baby who's struggling to buy lunch than a child named Madison with a big bow in her hair. I would. I would. I love that. Those babies need a teacher like me more than the Madison with the big pink bow in her hair. They do. So I loved those kids, but it was hard. And one of the biggest aha moments for me, y'all, huge. And I am the minority on the call. I don't have children at all. I am one of the rare jewels out there today. I think there's less than 5 of us. I really do, that don't have children and are not moms. So a lot of times you hear like, I'm a mom, I can't do this. I'm like, yeah, you can, girl. 98% of the people doing this are moms. I'm the one who doesn't have the kids, and like, you don't hear a lot of us. So I haven't lived as much life. I don't have as big of whys. My life hasn't as changed as much. I don't love something the way you love something. Like, you've got more drive than I ever could. So one of the biggest moments for me, I was teaching. It was this last spring, right before I left the classroom. So I was already a jewel at the time. I was either Emerald or Sapphire. We're at the final year awards ceremony, and one of my babies kept checking the gym door just like this, like checking and checking. And finally awards was over, and he just lost it, crying. I'm like, babe, what's wrong? And he said, my mom didn't come. And I said, she probably had to work. Remember, she probably had to go to work. He said, well, can I call her? I said, yeah, let's call her. So I handed my cell phone. Well, her phone was shut off at the time, like didn't pay the bill, shut off. So he didn't know, and he was upset. And he said, my mom will never come to my stuff. And this point in time in my business, I had just turned in my papers to not sign my contract. And I was having this really weird, the devil comes when you've got joy. I was having this really weird time. I was very 100% like, I'm quitting teaching. Nobody can stop me. Like, whatever. Like, I was over it. But the devil was messing with me, y'all. Like, what do you mean you're going to quit teaching? You're good at this. Your scores are good. You love these kids. And I did. And I had this weird feeling of like, what are you doing? Should you stay? I don't know. And when this kid hugged me and said, my mommy will never come, it was like, I will always come to my kids' stuff. I am not going to be in this gymnasium with these kids. So when I do decide one day to be a mom, I'm not missing one muffins for mom. I'm not missing one award ceremony. I will go to every dang field trip. I don't care if it's the zoo or Chuck E. Cheese. Like, I'm going. And my child is not going to sit there and think, my mommy will never come, my daddy will never come, and their phone got shut off again. Like, no. So that changed it for me to see my future. That I hear all these moms who I've looked up to so much, and I feel really lucky that I don't have to ever be that working mom in corporate America if I don't choose to be. I don't have to do that. Do we do daycare or do we not? So I've gotten to look into the future really big with this opportunity with Plexus, and to be able to make that decision and know, okay, I'm probably going to suck it up as a mom, but I'm going to do the best that I can to at least be there, So there's something I got going for me. So that was one big area that I completely fell in love with Plexus. Another thing, teacher-wise too, this is kind of materialistic and like vanity over here, so Dan, no judgment. But as a teacher, I didn't work for the school to where nobody brought me Starbucks. I never got a Sonic drink. I never got a Thanksgiving turkey. I didn't even get happy birthday, there's a cupcake for you. I didn't get that. So when Plexus sent me, when I was an Emerald Ambassador, my first Christmas, a Kate Spade purse in the mail, I lost it. They probably didn't even know my name. I don't know. I was a brand new Emerald. I had gone Emerald Halloween Day, and here it was 2 months later, Christmas, and a purse for me with a card signed by our corporate thanking me for how hard I worked and how many lives I've changed. I'm like, they got me a purse? That purse to me was huge. It was a purse I would never have bought myself. It's a purse that probably wasn't even necessarily my style or go-to, but it meant so much because I never even got Valentine or chocolates. And that's a big deal when you're not feeling appreciated in a job, it's hard to hang on. So that was something that was eye-opening for me of I get spoiled. And then they send me flowers when I ranked up. And even when I went silver and gold, they're sending me certificates with my name on it. I held the highest scores in my district for a few years. Nothing. Not a card. I'm going, what? I did Saturday school, cheerleading, honor roll, UIL, and I don't even think the superintendent knows my name. I don't even think he does. And here at Plexus, they know me. That to me was just, or they make the time to figure out somebody to find out who I am to know me and to recognize me. That was a big deal for me. So huge eye-opening. Our products, if you obviously, somebody who their life has been changed by these products, right? And this is where I get emotional. And it's not even about me, at all. Some of you know my dad and his story. I was the little girl who walked in 5, 6, 7, 10 times and found my dad looking dead, unconscious. And I had to know to go get icing and insulin and Sunny Delight. I had to know what to do at 8 years old. And that's not okay. And he didn't take care of himself because everything he did, he said nothing worked. So when I begged for him to try Plexus and it worked, and 9 months on the products for him, my dad, his doctor told him, you need no more insulin. Your blood sugar is so good. We're taking you off. You're reverse diabetic. We've never seen you this healthy. I am Plexus for life. I never, ever, you'd ask me 4 or 5 years ago, I said, my dad won't be around to meet my kids. I'm the baby of the family. He won't. He's met everybody else's kids. He won't meet mine. My dad's going to meet my kids one day. I know that. He has added probably 15 years onto his life because our products have changed his life. So if you don't have that story, share, find something. If you know somebody who's diabetic, you know somebody who struggles with blood sugar, I'm telling you guys, this is life-changing because my dad's the fat man that eats bear claws and like he had to wear dog tags around his neck. And said, I am a diabetic. He doesn't wear dog tags around his neck at all anymore. That is life-changing. So the day that he called me and said, baby, I'm not on insulin anymore, like, how could you not love this company? How could you not love these products? Like, how could you not? So if you haven't fell in love with Plexus because of that, fall in love with Plexus because of what I just told you. Because I'm 28, and I hope my dad had me at a later age in his life. He lived a little before he had me, and I hope he's around for that. And I have more faith than I ever have that he will be today because of that. So I didn't mean to get everybody all sappy there. Usually I'm not the sappy person. Like if you know me, like you know that I'm peanut M&M. I call myself that a lot. I'm peanut M&M. Like I'm hard. And he gets me every time because it's your dad. There's something about your parents. I don't know. They get older these days and you start to think different. And you're like, my parents are invincible. Nothing's ever going to happen to them. And then things do. And I've had so many friends who've lost their dad and lost their mom. And I just know my dad's got a few more years because of Plexus. So, all right, we'll turn it to happy, right? Okay. So, dun-dun-dun, we're moving on. Another thing that made me fall in love with Plexus here. Okay, so I think my friend's on the call. Her name's Kelsey Bond. She's my college roommate. God, she's my best friend. She's one of the people I have in my boat for life. So Kelsey and I joined Plexus about the same time, but on 2 different teams. And she's like, hey, come to this thing with me. It's called Super Saturday. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I don't know. So I had everything going against me for the odds to go. It was January. I'm a teacher on break. Don't take up my personal time. I'm tired. It was raining and cold. And if you know anything about me, if it's raining and cold, I want to sit in front of a Christmas tree and watch Christmas movies and drink all the hot chocolate in my life. Do not take me from my home. And then I had drinking the night before, and I was up a little bit later. I was celebrating something. I was a little tired. I had, we all do. We have a little girl time. And so I was tired, had a headache, and Kelsey was saying, I will come get you, come on, da-da-da. And I started my period that day. I remember, don't you, Kelsey? I think she was on the call. I did. And I was like, I've got cramps, like, oh my God, my stomach hurts, I have to go to the bathroom. And so we go to Houston, and I'm a silver ambassador with 1 person inactive. So technically, I deranked from silver. Womp, womp, womp. I had 2 people. But I didn't really know what the importance was to hold a rank or anything like that at all. I knew I loved the products. And so we're sitting there, and that's the first time I ever met Jamie and Sarah. I think Sarah was a Ruby, and I think Jamie was a senior Ruby. And I remember Kelsey telling me, like, that's Sarah, that's Jamie. And I'm like, what? And she's like, this is what they make. And I was like, those girls make that. And I like lost it. And I remember like Jamie was like, hey girls, like, oh my God, I was like, she's talking to us, first of all. Like, that's cool. And so like I put them in this Plexus celebrity kind of bubble. And then Lori Harrison comes on stage, and she's still one of my favorite people today. I just love her spirit. Like, oh my gosh. And she's a diamond, and her husband was with her in diamond. And I'm like, what? And like Kelsey's like showing me the numbers over here. I'm like, hold on. Like, what is, these are all normal people. And then everybody stood up for how many pounds they had lost. And Kelsey, being one of my best friends at the point in time, had lost 50-ish, 50, 60 pounds. And I'm like, whoa, I just knew her category, which was massive. But then this guy in the room was like 120 pounds, and this girl over here, and this and that. I'm like, everybody in this room, their life has changed. And like, these girls look normal. Like, they have haircuts, they're carrying purses, like they're real people, and they're making money. And that day, Kelsey and I were sitting beside each other, tears down our face, and we were like embarrassed. I'm like, you're crying? She's like, you're crying? I'm like, okay, at least we're crying together. And we didn't even know why we were crying, but we were crying. And we get in the car, and we're just like, Plexus. And so I come home, and I can't shut up about Plexus. That's the day I felt like it was love at first sight. Like, I met my boyfriend. Like, that was the day. And my husband at the time goes, did you join a cult at the time? He's still my husband today. I still have one. I'm on the first one. Okay. So I said, I'm just talking Plexus, and he's like, did you join a cult? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about to join a cult? And he's like, all you've talked about is Plexus from here on out. And he hadn't even taken the products yet. And he's like, I don't even know, Jill, like, people make money and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just crazy. And he thought I had joined, like, y'all made me, like, draw my blood and, like, just submit to, like, the traveling sisterhood pants over here. And I was in it. And if you ask him what was the day that changed Jill, he would absolutely say the day Kelsey brought her home, like, from that thing she ever went to that day. I don't even know that day. That was the day. Like, she turned Plexus crazy train after that. And I did. I fell in love. It was love at first sight because I realized normal people were doing this, and it changed my life. So, and then another one of my last thing here, I'll wrap it up. But convention this year was huge. I had went a brand new Sapphire. I ranked the end of May, and here we traveled 2 weeks later. And at that point in time, you're a jewel, this and that. I started doing more videos, more people following you on Facebook, know your story, know things. And I don't know, 30, 40, 50 times I got trampled to just say, like, you're Jill, and wanted to hug me. And I was like, me? Like, I'm from Curtin, Texas. My dog still poops in the house. My husband is a redneck. Like, I didn't understand. I don't get it. And so, but they were like, your story has impacted me. Like, you're so young and you're fresh, and like your dad's story changed my uncle's life. Because you shared his story, my dad gave it a try. And like, I'm a teacher too. And at that time I had just left the classroom because it was May. So I had like just packed up my classroom and got on a plane to go to Vegas. And I had so many teachers just tears and trampling me saying, because of you, I'm done this year too. Like, you've showed me I can do this. So like, talk about, let me just choke on my own saliva real quick. Like, I never thought that God would open up a path to where I could change big people's life because I was only dealing with the little people over there. But that's huge. And then number one for me, if somebody would ask me, like, why do you love Plexus? Why? What is it for you that does it? My inbox is very full. I struggle at answering the messages at this point in my business of where I'm at. But the messages that stop me and just make me weep and crack that peanut M&M are the messages that say, not because, oh, your weight loss, oh, because of this, or your acne. It's the messages that say, because of you, I found out that I want to be a Christian. Because of you, I want to know Jesus in a deeper way like you do. Because of you, you have led me to love the Lord deeper. And I didn't get to do that as a teacher. I know for a fact God blessed me with Plexus as a ministry to be a transportation vehicle to preach the gospel, because I couldn't do that as a teacher. I couldn't. I was playing praise and worship music one time in my classroom, and I got told to turn it off. So it's hard. It's hard when that's your lifestyle and that's how you live, and that's what God's called me to do. And for me to be able to openly talk about my walk with the Lord every single day, and to tell people I'm praying for you, and they know that I mean it, and they, like, even if they're just following me on Facebook, or they never even met me, or that I was a guest speaker or a caller on here or something, that I got to say and honor and give him the glory. I mean, those are the messages to me that have changed my life, and know that I'm in the right company, because I'm supposed to be a disciple. I'm supposed to be a light. I'm supposed to share the gospel with people, and I couldn't do that anywhere else. My hands were tied, and most people's hands are tied in corporate America, and especially tied in the classroom. Don't you dare talk about that to the public state of Texas. So, those are the messages that stopped me in my tracks. So to say that I'm not completely, madly, over the, like, obsessively crazy girl in love with Plexus, like, I'm the girl that would call Plexus 47 times of the crazy girlfriend. Like, I'm there. That's how much in love I am with Plexus. That, like, I'd like slash tires for people over, don't be talking smack about my company. Like, I'm that type of girlfriend married to Plexus. So if you haven't found something yet, stick around for another day or two, because I mean, every day it's one thing over another. Even when the computer system crashes and they continue our specials for us. And here I am now in the state, because I've been with Plexus for 2.5 years, when my team is going, oh my God, what happened? I'm like, hush, Plexus will make it right, because they do every time, don't they? Yeah. And they're like, yeah, you're right. When have they ever failed any of us? Never. Plexus is like Jesus over here. When has he failed us, y'all? Like, what's going on? They've got our back. Like, that's it. They have never once said, like, good luck, figure it out to the wolves. They've got us. They've got us so much. This is one of the best relationships I've ever been in, and I'm in it for life, y'all. Like, so much in it for life. Like, I even have a ring over this finger that represents Plexus to me. It's an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond band that my husband got for me. But to me, it's like another wedding ring. It's like I sleep in it, shower in it, just like this one. These are my relationships right here, like a minute to win it. So I don't know. If you're not in love, you should be in love now. Go find the love crazy juice and join our train, because we're in love. We're sick in love. But I'm going to pass it back over to Jamie and have her close us out tonight, guys. But I was just so honored to share some cool stuff with y'all.
Thank you, Jill. I think you were just like the perfect person. I knew I'm like, we need to end with Jill, because you have so much spunk, but then you broke down. We laughed, we cried. It was awesome. I do love that you mentioned your faith, because that's something huge for me too. And I always say that I feel like God uses Plexus as the vessel in our lives to get us for his greater purpose. And everybody has, a different purpose in this business. Mine's going to be different than the next person, but I just love that. I forgot to mention that I am doing the giveaway from the Amazon Echo, and I want to explain to you how that's going to work. We're going to post the link to the recorded call tonight on each of the Jules team pages. So whichever page you want to comment on is fine. Comment something that you loved about the call tonight on that thread, and then we're going to draw from each team page, and then we're going to do another drawing for the grand prize winner, and we'll announce that. I'm not sure how long we're going to give you guys to do that. We'll talk about it and let you know. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. It was so fun hearing everyone's stories. We love you guys and hope you guys have a blessed week. Bye, guys.